Sealab I was a very simple project. It was built in Panama City, Florida, and the mission was held off the coast of Bermuda. Again, it only lasted 11 days. Following on the heels of the success of Sealab I, the Navy built a brand new, much more ambitious Sealab II project. The Sealab II habitat was lowered to almost 200 feet off the coast of La Jolla, California in 1965. This ambitious project called for 3 teams of divers, each to stay 15 days. They would rotate in and out. One of the events that made the Sealab II project so historically significant is, again, former astronaut Scott Carpenter became an integral part of the team. Scott Carpenter actually, instead of staying only one 15-day mission, stayed for an unheard of 30 days underwater. So in 1965, former astronaut Scott Carpenter set the record for undersea living at 30 days. This record remained in effect all the way up till 1992, when Richard Presley broke the record by 9 days by staying 69 days in the La Chalupa habitat down in Key Largo, Florida. One of the most interesting things about the Sealab II project was that because of the depth, you just couldn't have divers coming and ferrying information, tools, whatever, from the surface to the habitat. And when divers went out on an excursion, if they got disoriented or lost, the chances of them being recovered before they ran out of air would be very significant. Enter Tuffy. Tuffy was a dolphin that was trained specifically for this mission. Tuffy was trained to ferry equipment, supplies, whatever was needed from the surface support ship down to the habitat, from the habitat back up to the top. One of the really neat things about Tuffy was also that, and they tried this several times, thankfully it never had to be used, but if a diver was out on an excursion and got too far away from the habitat and got disoriented, Tuffy could grab a line, take the line from the habitat to the diver, and the diver would just have to follow the line back in. Tuffy became a very important part of the Sealab II project. Another lesson was learned from Sealab II was the ability of some of the marine mammals to be able to, if you want to call it that, decompress. They had several sea lions that would stick their head up into the moon pool of Sealab II to see what was going on, very curious animals. There was a concern that by breathing the air inside, the compressed air inside of Sealab II, if these animals went to the surface, they could have a lung overexpansion injury and injure the animal. In order to study this, when some of the sea lions would enter the habitat or stick their head up in the moon pool, they would actually mark them with a paint. And they found that even though these marine mammals, these sea lions, were visiting the habitat at 200+ feet, they were still able to go straight to the surface. So even sea lions, it seemed, had the natural sense to exhale as they were going to the surface so that they could vent off the excess air and not result in a lung overexpansion injury. Sealab II was the underwater mission by which all the other standards of underwater human exploration in a habitat were set. You could make an argument that Sealab II was not surpassed as far as the science and the duration until we got up into the 1970s.